Okay, we're here with Ohio wrestling coaching legend Bill Barger here at the SOS Training Studio. Bill, you started training with me last year. You've had quite a year since then, so I want to talk about a couple of things in this interview, but let's first start off with what you've been doing, what happened last year, and let's just talk about what's taken place within that year.
Well, I was working out really, and it was going good. Me and you were together for a couple months now, 3 or 4 months. Maybe.
Yeah.
And,
it's about 3 months.
And I was here working out, and I said to you, I couldn't feel the strength. And I mean, I thought I was regressing or something, and I was.
Yeah.
But I had to leave the practice.
Yeah.
So then I made a doctor's appointment, and a couple of weeks before that, I'd had a fall while I was dreaming, and I had these from post-traumatic stress. So, but I hit my back of my head, and my wife came downstairs and got me and stuff, and I just went to school and that. I didn't think about it again, But then I was at that practice working out with you, and I couldn't do it, so I made an appointment with the doctor, and then as it turned out, when I hit my head, I had a bleeding in my brain, and so it was in a pool. Luckily the doctor did a CAT scan, because I went in there thinking I had a sinus or something. I just couldn't, because I never have headaches, and I had headaches.
Right.
But then, so I ended up getting sent to the emergency, was in intensive care for 23 days, and I was in the hospital from November till July, because they put me in a VA hospital, and I had three surgeries, serious surgeries, because they couldn't get me back, I couldn't talk, or and I still struggle with comprehension and stuff like that, but I'm a hell of a lot better than I was. So, then I went out to California and to visit my brother, and so the whole time I was out there, we got some property on a mountain out there, and I just did all my exercises. I didn't have any kettlebells, I had a lot of rocks, but so I kept on working, and I lost 70 pounds just by doing the things that I learned here, and getting back little by little. It took me a long time. But now I'm ready to go. I'm going to work with the youth kids and not the varsity, but just work with them.
So you are going to be involved with wrestling this year?
Oh yeah, that's my house, and I love it, We got the Ironman coming up, we still do that, and then Flow Nationals, but yeah, I'm going to be in there, just helping out, but I'm not going to be coaching. I want to go watch Johnny and Anthony and some of my seniors that are wrestling, so I want to do what I want to do, but I'm going to definitely work with the North Akron Wrestling Club.
Okay. You gave me a bunch of old wrestling literature last weekend. In that literature, I found something that was pretty interesting, which is titled "The Philosophy of Wrestling" by Pat and Tom Milkovich. Tell me a little bit about that, or what you know about that, because there's no author on it. From reading it, I assume that it was written by their father. You had mentioned that Howard Ferguson had something to do with that, so tell me a little bit about that.
Well, the philosophy, I don't know if it was done by one of his sons, or Big Mike, but I know that year that he brought the Milkoviches in to St. Ed's to run the practices. It
was in a notebook, a training manual for the 1979-1980 St. Ed's wrestling team. How did you get that handbook, Bill?
Well, Howard Ferguson and me were acquaintances.
Okay.
From the 80s on, and when I had Horny with Ruster, when I first had my state champs, you know, he couldn't stand it. He couldn't beat a guy that you had, you know. So, and Fergie was bored with Ohio, you know, and but he started the national, going to Pennsylvania and then going to Minnesota, places like that, and you know, so I just always challenged him, you know, and even if it was only 2 of my wrestlers, but that he put him we'd go to a tournament at St. Ed's, it's like in February, and he put the first round, he put Horny with his second team guy, and then the next round he put him with Peter John or somebody out there, you know, one of his, trying to just get Horny, and Horny always made him suffer. But he was a good man to me. He taught me, he knew that I was hungry and I wanted to get to that level, and so he gave me all of his books and said, come on, you want me? Here's what I do. You know, and it really, I knew I had that. I remember reading the Milkovich one a few times, you know, but that's when the Milkoviches were helping him out. And then that happened, I don't know what happened with the chemistry, but, you know, I know that Milkovich is helping.
Okay, and just one last thing, you've come back here to SOS. What do you, tell me a little bit about what you think this training's done for you. What kind of positive or negative aspects has this added to your life? Have you noticed any changes as far as, you know, what the training's done for you?
Well, you know, I mean, if you haven't done it, then you really don't know. And it's not for everybody but it is, if you think you're a wrestler and you're not doing this, there's something wrong. You know, because it just fits so much into our sport. You know, and it's just the best way to get our kids in shape. Like Fred, who coached the team last year when I was in the hospital, he said, the one thing that we had at Walsh that we never had before was everybody, when the third period came, we were whooping them because of the cardio. You know, you're thinking, well, kettlebells, it's all about strength. Well, it isn't. It's about everything, and it's a way of life. You know, the way that Scott teaches it, it's everything. While you're working out that day, he's asking you what you ate, you know, he's like a cop. You know, he just checks, you know, he makes sure that you're doing the whole thing. Okay. And, you know, I can't go into a gym and do it. I just can't. I have to be, I know what I can do, you know, but I need someone to walk me around.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much, Bill. Appreciate it, and great interview. Thanks.